Welcome everyone. We're live. I'm just going to give it a couple minutes for some more people to filter on. But welcome to the show. Going to spread the word, put out some tweets, share it with your friends. And let me know in the chat what you're watching. Ready to rock. All right. So, a couple watches I'm watching today. I like BKKT a lot. How many minutes do we have? 4 minutes till open. This is a runner on the MasterCard news from the 25th. If we look at like a 5-day chart, like massive after hours run here on the 26th. Well, the 25th evening, 26th morning. But like actual action, if I turn off like after hours, like this chart looks gorgeous. Gorgeous. Big breakout with news, trading big volume. Obviously, we can't ignore after hours, but all things considered, I think like this 30 level, yesterday's high is pretty key. But really the level that I want to see it holds like 28. If it holds 28, I wouldn't be surprised to see it run today to 40. If the volume holds, then it keeps up. So that's probably like my main trade watch. Other ones I'm watching, HCWB. This was a huge runner. If I pull up the total view, relatively low float, 17 million float, and the daily chart really doesn't have that much resistance. So yeah, fairly fresh, clean chart. Like a dip and rip sort of idea is what I'm looking at here. Really on these, I like to give them like a good 10 minutes before I do anything. Obviously, this looks like it's basing pretty well above like, high fours, just below 5. So I'll watch this one pretty closely going into the market. IND was a trade I should have been long yesterday into close on the news, close strong, and it's gapping up. Really nice look, so congrats to anyone there. Those are my main ones. WSRC, same kind of idea, but just not as good. DWOC, I will continue to monitor because I'm looking for a lot of DWOCs. Oh, my computer screen over here turned off. Because when DWOC runs, several others run, like Fun, PHUN, Mark, you name it. So I'll be watching those. Am I watching DATs? I heard Bohen mention DATs. I actually never got around to looking at it. Let me pull it up on my other screens. DATs. It's a pretty good look. This is a very big social followed name. The problem is there's so much resistance, so much chop up in this. Not the biggest fan, especially after this failed day here. I just think it's got a lot of resistance to overcome. So probably gonna, Gavin crap, probably a failure. That's what I'm thinking. But I think my main watch going into the open is gonna be HCWB. Got another minute. Mono check behind you. Why am I looking behind me? Big Mac. Before we get in, I detailed a lot more plans in small cap rockets. I can drop a link for you guys to check out small cap rockets. It's a great room, a lot more detailed plans, a lot more like hands-on learning. I'll throw it in the chat on YouTube before we go live for everyone to take a peek. Would love to. It's time to get trading. There's the link. Just threw it in there. Tui's not with me today. His loss. His loss. that is the opening bell. So really watching HCWB. I think the $5 level is going to be pretty key on it, but I don't really want to chase much. We'll see what happens there. See where it pulls after that. BKKT looks like a little bit of a dip off that morning rip. Watching that. INND. This one's just a slow mover, but if it does hold this green level, if I throw it up, if it holds this line, I would for sure be interested. DWAC a little pull out the gate too. Great hold here on HC. WB, I'm going to take some long. I got some roughly at like 510. I'm going to be risking these lows. Hopefully we can get like a good spike up into the 6s. There we go. Volume's pouring in now. Great morning spike there. Let's see where this pullback bottoms out. See if I can move risk up at all. Sometimes these like to pop and drop, and that is not what I'm looking for here. So just keeping risk on lows, and unless we get like a big spike to like 6 or something. Sometimes a little 1 candle, 1 minute pullback is exactly what we need for it to launch higher. All things holding very well, but fingers on the trigger to always cut that. Nice little pullback there and hold. DWAC's pushing. Strong rebound on that one. Just watching it up there. Really 5's the level I was watching on this. Under 5, I'm going to be a lot less confident in this trade. So, but if it keeps holding, more power to us. It's holding pretty good. We might have to add some on this hold, especially over highs. I'm going to make sure I throw VWAP up on this chart for you. It's kind of where I think this is going to spike pretty easily. Added some there. I do actually like adding like a 9 EMA as well. And that's coming up pretty nicely too. So I'm going to kind of use that as a guide for my risk. But these high 560s, 550s, pretty key here. DWAC great spike over 72. I'll definitely circle back to that in a second. Great hold. We're about to see a push here. There we go. Beautiful. Took some off there, 580. Right up to VWAP, just like I thought. Holding a little bit, about a quarter left of my size. For possible push over VWAP, but again, I'm just using this 9 EMA here as my resistance, or as my risk. There we go, good push. Awesome, awesome, textbook. All right, just locked it in. It just halted. I just locked it in, 639. So, awesome, very textbook trade. You got a question mark? I got my little brother in the room next to me.
Hoping for it to halt up.
It did halt up. Are you in it?
Yeah.
Ooh, where'd you get in?
Like 546.
Woo! How many shares you get?
Like 100. I only took 100.
No, that's good. That's good. Mark's trading with a small account. He's my younger brother. He's 19, but he's getting into trading. So good trade, dude. Good trade. So, all right, that's probably gonna be like a 5-minute halt. We'll definitely circle back. I always sell before the halts, but great trade for me there. A couple thousand, to be exact. About $4,200 on that trade for me, from start to finish. I walked you through it. Small cap knew it about an hour ago, so great trade there. Great trade there. While that's halted, DWAC looks like it got crushed again. That's fine. As long as it holds the key levels. I'm going to pull up actually like a 5-day. This is a higher price one. I'm not really going to trade this. But I'm looking for other ones like Fun, PHUN, which is like a sympathy to DWAC to run with it if it holds. If it doesn't, it doesn't. No big deal. That's just the plan there. So I'm just monitoring DWAC. This is like the leader of like what I'd consider like solid sector momentum. So.
If I put in a sell right now on the market, will it sell like as soon as it opens?
Good question. I don't know if you heard Mark. Mark was asking. He's in this halt. Have you ever been in a halt before?
Mm-hmm, my very first trade.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. His first trade, he was in a halt. So he's in this halt. His halt up on HCWB. I'm just going to start calling it HC. HCW. He asked if you can put a market order in right now. Will you get filled as soon as it unhalts? Yes, but some brokers, like E-Trade, I don't think you can even put in. It wouldn't go through because the security's halted.
Should I try and see? I could always cancel them.
You can try and see. But, yeah, I don't think...
Yeah, it just says the price is temporarily unavailable.
Yeah, so you're going to have to wait for that to unhalt. When did that one halt? 8:34. So it's going to... First unhalt should be around 8:39, 5 minutes later. IND is holding, but that volume looks like gross. I think I'm just going to take it off my screen, not even look at it. No, it looks like BKKT took a spill too after the morning spike. Still big picture, don't think this one's done yet, but it's done for at least the morning session. We can fire up my scanner. Yep, this was the other one I was watching. It looks like it's just failing off though. DBGI, they've got Amazon news, but it's like super fluffy. That being said, I mean, it's got history. A lot of history of failed spikes. You can see every time it spikes, a lot of volume, ends red. A lot of volume, ends red. You know, so we could definitely see the same here. If it holds up for like an hour, might be a different story. But just writing it off, it's dead to me. We got like what? I think it was like 8:54:57. So I think we got 1 full minute until the HCW unhalts here. What a trade. I can't believe I got out before the halt though. But still, 639, good sell.
How much you lock in?
A little over $4,000. $4,000. I took it from 510 was my best entry. Added a little bit on the consolidation here. On this break over 550s. Got a spike, sold some 580s. Like I said, live. It was all live. Go back and look at it. It was a great trade. We should definitely make a clip of it. And then I got out my last shares here, 639. Last like 1,000 shares, 639. All things considered, about $4,000 on that trade for me. And Mark Monaco's still in it.
I'm still in it.
What are you up? $100?
103.
Woo-hoo! What's your plan coming out of this unhaul? You got like 30 seconds. Oh, you got like 7 seconds, so be ready.
Sell now.
Yeah, so after this unhaul, it's going to be interesting. Depends how big it gaps up. There we go. It's just started trading. See how much volume comes in. It's looking a little stuffy, but
yeah, I sold it at 6.4.
yeah, it's probably a good sell. We'll see how it holds VWAP here. It might not be done. When stocks halt, it makes it very, very difficult to trade, and I usually get pretty frustrated. So I want to see how this reacts to VWAP. The 9 EMA, which is that other line, and VWAP are kind of converging here. So I like to call that like my mega support. So there's some good support in this zone, exactly where it's trading. We'll see how it holds. Right now, though, that key level on halt's going to be like that 650 level. Over that, it could definitely get crazy again. But that's not an easy trade. Not one I'm really looking to take. So we'll watch this for a little bit, and I'll circle back and answer any questions. How's small cap holding up? All right. Small cap's getting all my questions today. There's a bunch in there. But I just want to keep watching this. Throw up to level 2. Some crazy level 2 action going on. It's holding that previous high there, though. That's the worst support line I've ever drawn, but previous resistance becomes support more times than not. Oh, it just went. It just went. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not trading that, but that's a squeezer. That's probably going to halt up again if I... That's pretty crazy. Let's make it full screen. There's some... Oh, we got the line tool going. There's some crazy volume trading on that one. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something crazy, like another halt up. Like I said, it's like a totally fresh chart. There's almost no resistance. So, woo-wee. Wild to see that thing go. Oh, wow. Let's see if I can pull up the level 2 in time. There's a large seller on 7. 150,000 shares. Look at that. That's crazy. Someone's trying to keep it under 7. Over 7. Oh my God, they're blowing through it. They're trying to blow through 7. That's a lot of volume, though. 7 goes. It could definitely get... Oh, there it is. There's another... Look at that, though. 180 on 705. I don't like that. That's scary. Someone big's in there. Trying to keep that down. That's scary. Yeah, there's a lot of size keeping that one down there.
Is this typically where shorts are pretty good?
Yeah, that was a good short entry right there. I'm glad I pulled up the level 2. There's some gems in this live stream. That 7 level with that huge size was a huge red flag, but since it got broken, typically that'd be a good long bias symbol, like sign, like, oh, like a huge seller just got taken out. It's probably going to go higher. But immediately, literally immediately after on 705, there was another 180,000 share seller. I mean, what's that? That's $10 million. What's 180,000 times 7? That's like millions of dollars.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. That's close to 2. So someone wanted to keep that thing down. And you can't fight big money.
They did a pretty good job.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job keeping that thing down. So, wowza. Y'all learning today. All right, back to small cap for the questions. Whew. Glad everyone in small cap's in here, but they get the questions. They're the dedicated ones. They're the ones in here putting in the work. The back of my head is ridiculous. I'm looking. He always busts my balls. Damata. He's a good guy, though. INND, what do I think? I just talked about that one a little bit. I'll pull it up again. This is holding. That's weird. There's some fishies going on here. I don't like it. Definitely not a trade for me. All right, INND. It's going. It held the level I talked about. Good trade for anyone who listened to my trade plan and just didn't take it. It had to hold this key close level, and it did twice. Great trade. The volume actually is better than I thought. My focus was just elsewhere. A little bit of a miss. But I do like that one. Continuation of yesterday. Missed there, but I'm happy with my HWCB. So, sorry if I missed it, but how did you enter HCWB? Because the dip below pre-market level. Yeah, I'll break the trade totally down. Like I said, pre-market, I'll recap live. I broke it down before the market opened. But in hindsight, we can look at it again. It's a runner. Pretty sure I had news today, but let's double check with StocksToTrade here. You have the 28th. There was a filing, an 8K, so some news came out. There's an FDA green light for one of their drugs to treat pancreatic cancer. So it's biotech. Typically, these are pretty wild, pretty volatile. So there's a catalyst. So we're building a case here. There's a catalyst. Next thing, you look at the daily chart. Like I said, it's pretty fresh daily chart. There's not much resistance. It's basically straight down. So anytime there trades some good volume, like these are the type of plays that you could see possibly become supernovas. And if HCW like hypothetically holds this low, it could definitely come back and be another trade. But right now it's on like a destruction path of like it's just gonna die. So I was watching it on that initial dip. It had like a slight dip out of the gate, and I knew the 5 level was important, $5, because it's a key psychological level. $5 is very easy for most people to understand. Like it's just a level. Speaking of, this one is curling up and looks like it might squeeze. This is a textbook gapping crap. I can't. DBGI total chase here. If I was to hop in, is this a halt on it? Yeah, it looks like it just halted. Total chase, that's a tough one. There was no real pullback. Like how I was saying on HCW, I was risking this low. Like I would have really had to have perfect timing on DBGI to get in this because it just dipped, curled, now it's halted up. So, very good one. Anyways, back to this. I was looking at that 5 level. And as it spiked through 5, I took an initial starter size, willing to risk lows. I got filled 510, so a bit of a chase. I didn't get the best fill, but I was willing to risk those lows. Then we got initial spike, 2-minute consolidation. That's awesome. Depending who you talk to, it could be like a flag, they call it. I like to think of it as just like a little breather. Like there was initial spike, like we're taking a breath. We're trying to see like, is this real? Is this not real? Like that's the critical moment. Those like 2 moments. 2 minutes, because it's stressful. Like it's either going to fail and it's going to hit your risk, which is fine. I knew what my risk was. It was low day, or it's going to break that previous high and go on another leg up, which is what this one did. Really awesome. So it got that consolidation. I added a little more. At this point, I was willing to move up my risk roughly to my entry, my original entry. So my average at this point was probably 525 to 530. I can post a chart on Twitter. Make sure you follow me. It's mono_trader. I'll post a chart, but basically moved my risk up, so it was going to be a very small loss if it was indeed a loss. It broke through those highs. We got that initial rip. And my target was always VWAP, so it's important to like adjust your expectations. We're drawing lines again. We're just going to clear all the drawings and make sure we got this tool. It's important to adjust your expectations. Like I knew this one had a huge morning spike and it had a huge unwind. Like pre-market highs is kind of high expectations. I didn't think it was possible for that one to really get there. But I knew where VWAP was, and I know a lot of short sellers like to short into VWAP. So that was my rough target. We want to get to VWAP because at that point I'm just going to hand it off to the short sellers. They can do their thing. I made my trade. They can make their trade. It's all about adjusting expectations. Something like BKKT, which is curling up again, I think is a much longer term, bigger expectation play. With the news, like with the catalyst, with the chart, this is something that might be a day or two and could get back up into 48, 50 zone if it works. Yeah, that big seller in there, big short seller or guy cashing out. Hard to really say which. Someone sold a lot of shares of HCW. So that was my plan. Locked it in as we went, and that's how I made that 4K. Other small cap questions. What daily setup are you looking at? So HCWC isn't really a great daily setup. What I like daily setups, my 2 go-tos are like a first green day bounce, something like DWAC was yesterday. where, if I can get rid of these, where it had a huge run, multi-day pullback, like 2 days, ideally 2 to 3 days, like that sweet zone, and then you get a bounce. That's the first green day. That's one of my daily setups. What do you got, Mark?
DBGI.
Yeah, it's halted up on that Amazon news. Yeah, it's halted, dude. So, I don't know. You probably saw him leave. He's big baller over here. What'd you make, 110 bucks, you said?
103.
103 bucks? How big's your account? It's like $800?
Yeah.
So you made like 12% of your account today? Woo! We got a trader in the making. Good shit, dude.
Thank you.
That's exciting. Round of applause. Throw some clap emojis in the chat. Anyways, so that's first green day, first daily setup. Second one would be like a breakout. Something like, probably the best example I have up is BKKT. You look at this, like there's clearly a breakout level over this like 36. After a spike, consolidation is holding up near highs. The difference between a breakout and a first green day is simply a breakout holds and then might go further, where first green day it ran, pulled back, and we're looking for a bounce because it just didn't hold. But it all starts with that initial run. HCW, this one is just like a first green day with a catalyst. Like first green day meaning like it's the first run ever. So the main daily setups I like start with the first run, which is what HCW is trying to do right now. But it's not doing it. The volume's starting to fail off. That big seller came in. So yeah, that's kind of the daily setup I see there. Wow, 6 minutes in, it's awesome. Great job. Thanks. Hop in small cap. I do this on the daily. We do recaps. We do live strategy sessions. It's a great place. I'll actually throw it in the chat again because I'm sure it's gotten morphed by. Where's? I gotta pull it up. I'll drop it in the chat. Just videos. Oops. So, anyways. Small cap's the place to be between me and Tui. Tui's not here today, he's flying, but that's the benefit of... Oh man, is it halted again? Dude, it's definitely halted again. Whoo!
Yeah.
There's some runners.
Yep.
Wow. I said it was going to be today's runner too. Alright. Paste. There's the link. Literally just paste it. Check it out. If you can't click it, just make sure you copy and paste it. What made me choose HCWB over DBGI? Just based on like where it was. What I mean by that is relative to how it traded pre-market. I thought the risk at the time of entry on HCW was less than DBGI. DBGI, like I said, oops, a little notification there. DBGI, like I said, is fading off. Wouldn't be surprised if it curled back, and it did. Problem is, there was no entry for me on it. I didn't even take the trade. So, but like looking at it, there was no like easy like support pre-market. Like I would have had to risk down to like this 415 level, and that's a really, really wide risk on a trade like this. So, I was just more comfortable with the risk on HCW than DBGI. How did I use a market order to get? Did I use a market order? I did. Typically on these listed stocks like HCW, I use market orders more times than not. And it's not a problem if they're trading good volume. Like 1,000 shares, a couple hundred shares. It's not going to break a stock. It's not going to move it when it's trading that good volume, which HCW was. I would never use a market order on something like INND, for example, OTC stock. So... yeah, great questions, guys. Would that trend break at 943 on DBGI be a possible entry? It's possible. Let's look it up. Like that would probably be the best entry, but still, that's a hard entry for me. So 943, you're looking at like this candle, and I'm sure you're talking about like more or less that trend down, and then it reverses trends. Yeah, that's a great spot, but it's a high risk, high reward spot. Like your win percentage on a trade like that probably is going to be like 20, 30%. realistically. Like, meaning you're only going to win 20-30% of the time. But when you're right, you know, as long as you cut your loss and it's calculated, you're going to get winners like this. It's just a really tough spot. I like to be more, like, my ideal trade on this, if I was to break down an ideal trade, would be something like a pullback like this, a spike up, not all the way too highs, like another pullback, and then a rip. This pullback right here is everything to me, because then I'm like, okay, I can risk this low and I can try to buy, or I can buy up here, willing to risk this low because the trend is then shifted. That never really happened on this stock. It just went straight up, which is fine. I'm just gonna miss that trade every single time. I'm never gonna make that trade happen. So what's INND doing? Pulling back a bit. I always forget I turned the line tool on. It's just a slow mover, but very textbook trade over that opening range. DWOX holding up. We're pretty much running out of time here. We usually do this for the first 30 minutes of the day, and then I spend the rest of the time in small cap. So because of that, I'll go into YouTube, answer some questions in the last 5 minutes here. All right, so DATS. Let's pull up DATS. DATS, is this on watch for you? Like I said, not really. This daily chart, I just don't think is even worth it. It's just too tough. There's too much resistance. LSID. Let's look at LSID. That's a nice one. Lucid Group. This used to be CCIV, right? Wow, great breakout over that high. I'd have to go look at CCIV chart. This is a slow mover. This is probably going to be like more of a swing type trade. But like great breakout on the daily chart. That's more like that's the pattern I'm looking for. Just this one. Obviously, I talked about adjusting your expectations. You're not going to get a $10 share move on this in like 15 minutes. It's going to be like a multi-day move. Good stocks to buy for beginners with not a lot of budget. That's not what I do. We're traders. Like my brother over here, if you were watching this, he's got an $800 account. He made a sick trade on HCWB, made $100, cash in, cash out. They're trading vehicles. I really don't care about the stock at the end of the day. DBGI is unhalted, so I was just taking a look. Crazy. I'm definitely going to keep watching this one if it sets up as the day goes on. But for now, it's not setting up. All right. A couple more questions. In with a spike. That's interesting. In is a former runner. I got an alert on this one. Like just like a price alert that it spiked. If we look at so many windows open trying to live stream for everyone. So I got a price alert on that saying it's going. So I'm taking a look. Former runner, this is a possible first green day. It got absolutely clobbered yesterday, though. That's the thing. Bit of a chase up here now, but definitely something I would be interested in watching going forward if it set up a little better. Oh, wow, this is halted down now, DBGI. But if we look at like a 5-day, you can see huge run, massive pullback. It's like due for a bounce. Like nothing goes straight up, nothing goes straight down. Again, adjust your expectations. This might go to 5, but we'll see. I'm definitely going to watch that now. That's the benefit of using price alerts. And you can do that in StocksToTrade. Just right click, add alert, and then you can set your price here. Let me pull it up. It popped up a little lower. You can set your price, say I want it over $4, whatever. Great. It's probably not even going to let me do it because over 5. So, anyways. That's how you set a price alert. And they're very helpful because you don't, we're humans. We're going to forget stocks, but this helps us not forget stocks. Well, guys, that's all I got for today. Again, I'll throw a link in the chat for Small Cap Rockets. That's where I'm going to spend the rest of the day. Appreciate all of you. Thank you for watching. I'll be on tomorrow Might have a special guest for you. Just might. Is in halted? Is this another halt? Oh my god, in is halted. There's halts left and right today. There's some movers out there. The market is back. That's exciting. So make sure you bookmark this. Like, subscribe. We've got over 90,000 followers now. We want to get to 100,000 by the end of the year. So click the like, click the subscribe, follow us. I'll try to bring a special guest on tomorrow. But get in small cap. Thanks for watching, everyone. And I will see you